Last year, around 29,000 children were born as multiples in England. The majority of them, about 98%, were born as twins, and the number of twin pregnancies has increased significantly in recent years. Therefore, multiple births are not that rare, but the twins that we present to you today are guaranteed to be extremely unusual. Today, we show you 8 unique pairs of twins that really exist. Included are twin pairs whose birth is simply incredible, and identical twins who could not be more different. But we also introduce you to 2 brothers whose genes are not the only thing that is amazingly similar. It's going to be exciting, so stay tuned here at Wonderlane. Let's start with a pair of twins who seem totally normal at first sight. The boy and the girl from Bangladesh were born perfectly healthy on March 22nd, 2019, but absolutely no one expected their birth. Why? Because their mother had already given birth to a healthy boy just 26 days earlier. You think that sounds impossible, but it's not. From the beginning, the 20-year-old Arifa Sultana gave birth to a healthy son at the end of February 2019. The pregnancy was completely normal, and the birth was also without complications. The young mother was able to go home with her son the very next day. But just 26 days later, she suddenly developed intense abdominal pain. She was admitted to a clinic where the gynecologist on duty made an incredible discovery with the help of an ultrasound machine. Arifa Sultana had a second uterus containing twins. The 2 healthy children were delivered by emergency cesarean section. But for the parents, this event was initially a real shock. Because they were very poor, they had never been able to perform an ultrasound before, and so they had been completely clueless for the past few months. The gynecologist had also never experienced such a case. However, experts explained that a double uterus, also called uterus didelphys, is not even that extremely rare. A uterus didelphys is a form of uterine malformation in which there are 2 uterine necks and 2 uteruses in addition to 2 vaginas. The malformation is not externally noticeable, and according to estimates, 1 in about 3,000 women are affected. It is extremely rare for such a double pregnancy to occur. The chance is estimated at 1 in 50 million. The 2 brothers, Marcus and Lucas, could not be more different. The red-haired Marcus has a lot of energy, is loud, and can hardly sit still. His brother Lucas is not only blonde and significantly taller, he is also calmer and more sensible. That fraternal twins are often different is not unusual. However, in the case of Marcus and Lucas, it has a specific reason. The 2 are so-called step twins and have different fathers. This type of twin birth is so rare that just a handful of cases are known worldwide. Experts refer to such an event as hyperfertilization or superfertilization. Such an extraordinary twin pregnancy is only possible if 2 ovulations occur simultaneously, and the mother sleeps with 2 different men within a very short time. Charlotte Hilbrandt, the mother of the 2 boys, had a one-night stand with her acquaintance Tommy, and only 2 days later slept with her ex-husband Michael, with whom she was already separated at the time. Both eggs were fertilized by the respective men, but no one suspected that at first. It was only when the children were about a year old that Charlotte Hilbrandt noticed that Marcus looked confusingly like her ex-husband Michael, and Lucas looked like Tommy. A paternity test finally brought certainty. In the meantime, all family members have come to terms with the situation, and both fathers lovingly care for their children. Charlotte is also now married to Tommy. For decades, twin researchers have been investigating how similar 2 people with the same genes really are. But the case of the 2 Jim twins from the USA is almost uncanny and as incredible as a Hollywood screenplay. The twins on our number 6 were born in Ohio in 1940 and given up for adoption shortly after birth. The 2 came to different families, and although they each knew they had a twin, they didn't meet again until 39 years later. And this is where their extraordinary story begins, as the 2 men discovered that they had led almost identical lives up to that point. For example, both brothers were christened Jim. Both had a dog named Toy when they were children, and both had a penchant for math and woodworking as schoolchildren. But that was far from all, because both Jims were married twice. The first time, they both married women named Linda, and subsequently, both men married a woman named Betty. Their sons were also given the same name and were christened James Allen. In addition, both Jims were heavy smokers, drove the same car, namely a Chevrolet, and had similar jobs in security. They even vacationed on the same beach in Florida, unaware that their brother was always close by. The twins eventually participated in different studies, and scientists found that their medical histories and brainwave tests were nearly identical. Their scores on a personality test were equally identical. Their story thus had an enormous impact on twin research and on answering the question of what role genes play in our development. Number 5. If Jocelyn Grace Tello of Indiana is teased by her twin brother one day, she can tell him that she is significantly older than he is. Jocelyn Grace Tello and her little brother, Jackson Dwayne Tello, were not only born on different days, in different weeks, in different months and years, there is a whole decade between their births. This unique birth is only possible because little Jocelyn was born on 11:37 p.m. on Tuesday, December 31st, 2019. Her brother saw the light of day exactly 30 minutes later. That is, on January 1st, 2020. At 0 minutes and 7 seconds. He was thus the first baby of the new year and the new decade born in the hospital in Indiana. Let's move on to a pair of identical twins that is truly unique, because even though Sienna and Sierra Burnell are actually identical twins, they hardly look alike. On the contrary, Sienna looks like she is 10 years younger than her sister. And there's a very specific reason for that. Sienna was born with a special form of dwarfism, which is why she is much smaller than her sister. Although dwarfism can of course also occur in twins, the Burnell sisters from the USA are probably the only known case of female identical twins in which only one sister was born with the special growth disorder, and if she would survive at all was uncertain for a long time. According to her mother, Sienna, now 20, only had a 10% chance of survival at birth, but she had an incredible will to live, and today leads an almost normal life. The twins on our number 3 could hardly look more different as well, but that has nothing to do with their size or the fact that they are brother and sister. Instead, it's not even the color of their skin that connects them. That's because 9-year-old Sharik from Pembroke Pines in the USA state of Florida was born with albinism. Her twin brother, Tariq, on the other hand, was born without this condition. Albinism is a congenital disorder that causes pale skin, sensitivity to the sun, and vision problems, among other symptoms. 1 in 18,000 to 20,000 people in the US is born with albinism, and it's even rarer for one of them to be a twin. For parents Sharia and Terry, however, the birth of the twins was not their first experience with albinism, because already 10 years earlier, their daughter Shateria was born, who also had albinism, and she is now a real support for her little sister, who always gets astonished looks and mean comments. Hardly anyone on the street believes that she is actually part of the family, and that Tariq is even her twin brother. But the family sticks together, and especially Shateria shows her little sister that she can be proud of her unique appearance. The twins Lucy and Maria Aylmer from England also have different skin colors. While Lucy has light skin and red hair, her sister has much darker skin and brown curly hair. But this has nothing to do with albinism, and they are not step twins. Instead, Lucy and Maria have the same mother and father. And while Lucy's genes are primarily those of her father, Maria has inherited the appearance of her mother. The two are also completely different in character, and Lucy in particular struggled with her appearance for a long time. She was often teased at school because her other siblings also inherited her mother's dark skin tone. In the meantime, however, she has come to terms with her appearance, and her sister Maria is and remains her best friend. Number 1. Shivanath and Shivram Sahu from India have been causing a stir since they were born 18 years ago. The two boys are so-called Siamese twins and are joined from the waist down. That means the brothers each have 2 arms, a lung, and a heart, but they share a stomach, digestive organs, and legs. Despite this, Shivanath and Shivram live full lives and are even revered by some villagers as divine incarnations. Their family is also behind the two boys, who have learned to live completely independently. They perform all their basic daily tasks, such as showering, eating, dressing, and hair care without any outside help. And the twins are also said to have been at the top of their class in school. Meanwhile, Shivanath and Shivram are real celebrities in their country, and although their fate brings many problems, they would not want to change anything. On the contrary, already 6 years ago, a specialist doctor made contact with the family and explained that there was a possibility to successfully separate the two boys. The doctor and his team even wanted to perform the surgery for free. But the two brothers, and also the parents, refused the separation. Now, they are too old for the surgery, but they are still happy with their decision, even though they don't get any government support until today. That's it for our video. Feel free to write us in the comments which pair of twins impressed you the most. Otherwise, like this video if you enjoyed it, and see you next time, here at Wonderlane.